Moving abroad can be a very lonely and scary process. There are so many components that you need to keep in mind if you are planning to apply to a university abroad. But I'm going to break up the entire application process for you today. What are the things that you need to start planning and working towards to make sure you get into the college of your dreams? A part of this video is sponsored by Fateh Education, your trusted advisors for education abroad. But I'm going to talk about what Fateh Education is and what kind of services they provide later in this video. Hi everyone, my name is Mehar and I'm back with another video. For those of you here for the first time, I'm a chartered accountant from India and an MBA from Imperial College London, and I make videos on all things related to careers, education, productivity, positivity to help you accelerate your career. And if you have checked out my older videos where I talk about pursuing an MBA abroad and why I actually made the decision to pursue an MBA abroad, this video is for you if you are planning to do any type of education abroad. You will have so much confusion, so many doubts, so much of uncertainty that you will be dealing with when you are planning to go abroad to do a degree. But that is exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it. So my friends, the entire application process to go abroad to a country, to a top university of that country to study can be divided up into 3 parts. And that's exactly how I'm going to divide up today's video. So the entire application process has 3 components. The first component is the pre-application bit. What all is covered in the pre-application bit? Let's jump right into it. Please don't forget to share, like and subscribe to this channel if you find this video useful. And do comment below if you have any questions or doubts regarding applying to universities abroad, and I will try to get back to you. Okay, my friends, so the very first component of the entire application process is the pre-application bit. And the first thing that you need to remember and ask yourself is, my friends, is that why do I want to study abroad? You have to start with why. You cannot be wanting to go and invest that kind of money, energy because of your friends or because of pressure. You need to decide in advance, what is my long-term career goal? What is it that I'm going to achieve from studying abroad? You know, there are lots of great universities available in your home country as well that you can be targeting. So if you are planning to study abroad, your why has to be so strong that if anybody asks you the question that why is it that I want to study abroad, or why is it that I want to study from this particular university, your answer is right there. Another few questions to ask yourself is, what exactly do I want to get out of studying abroad? Do I want to settle down permanently, or do I want to just study and move back to my home country? Having this clarity will not only make your application process easier, but also make you make the most of the opportunity once you go for that program or once you go for that degree. For example, if you plan to study and settle abroad, you will have to work extra hard once you start your course to network and start applying for jobs in that foreign country from day one. So if you are prepared in advance, if your why is strong, my friends, it will just make the whole process easier. And that brings me on to another thing that you need to keep in mind in this pre-application bit, which is the university selection. And then again, my friends, there are so many universities in the world. There are so many countries in the world, and each country has its own top tier universities. And here is the tricky bit. Where should we apply? Which countries are favorable for me? Which courses are favorable to me? Which universities have that course that I'm looking to study? Having that clear why, as we just talked about, will also help you lead to the right university selection. Some of the factors that you have to keep in mind are costs and scholarship opportunities. Some other factors could be how the curriculum is broken down, or what are the faculty that are teaching in these universities. All that research has to be done by you. But lucky for you, there are advisors like Fateh Education who can help you make that decision. Fateh Education has been the trusted advisor for education abroad for more than 26,000 students. They have tie-ups with more than 120 universities, and they help you through this entire process of university selection, actually helping you with your application process and other components of the application process that I'm going to talk about soon. You need to make the most of these services that are available for you, especially if you're feeling confused and overwhelmed with this whole thing. The good news is that Fateh is hosting events on the 23rd of October where you can go and interact with people who are from these top tier universities in the UK and Ireland. You can register for these events with the link in my description below. So let's move on to the second part of this whole process, which is the actual application process. And here, my friends, again, there are so many components that go into an application to study abroad. It is not like in India where you just have to crack one set of exams to get a seat in that university. It is a holistic application that you will have to make. It will have components such as your application process, where you will have to write certain number of essays, your statement of purpose. Then you will also have letters of recommendations that you will have to put in from people who you have worked or studied with. Then there will be also another component such as your test scores like the TOEFL, IELTS or Pearson test, or it could be entrance exams such as the GRE or the GMAT score. And that's what I want to tell you. It's not just one thing that you need to be focusing on to get into your dream school abroad. So many of these components come together, and that's what an admissions committee is going to look at. They're going to look at your leadership qualities, they're going to look at your work experience, they're going to look at your educational qualifications, and they're going to look at your test scores. Plus, they're going to reach out to referees who will be recommending you directly to that university. What I'm trying to say, my friends, is that you have to make sure each component of your application is strong enough to be able to get you an admission in that university. So don't focus so much on just one component, like let's say taking the GMAT exam, but ignoring all the other components of the application. Think of it as lots of these mini components coming together to make one solid application. Each of those mini components have to be strong enough on their own as well as together. For example, when I was making my application to Imperial College London, I even submitted a video essay about why I wanted to study at their university. Yes, it was a behind the scenes to my life on how I actually aligned my goals, my daily routine to what the university was looking for. That's what you need to do, my friends. You need to do so much of homework and put in a lot of effort to make sure that your application is just spick and span, because there is just so much competition. So many people, not just from India but from around the world, are applying to these top universities, and you need to stand out. And how will you do that? By having the right kind of guidance, having the right kind of people proofreading your applications, making sure that you are getting the advice that you need. So do make sure you register for the events, my friends. On the 23rd of October, Fateh will be the education partner you can trust. Anyway, that brings me on to the third component of this whole process, and that is post-application. So now that you have all your application components together, you've written your essays, you've taken the tests, you got your letters of recommendation, and now you've submitted the application to the university. They will start reaching out to you for your interviews. They will want to meet you in person and see if you are the right fit for the university. They will judge your communication skills. They will ask you questions which may be competency based or maybe skill based, to see what you're saying actually matches with the application that you've submitted. And then, of course, my friends, once your interviews are done and once you get that letter of admit that you have been selected to go to a university, there are many other things that you need to bear in mind, such as sorting out your finances. How are you going to fund your education? Is it going to be through a loan from your family or maybe by a bank? Or is it going to be self-funded? Do you have enough money to sponsor yourself? Or is it that you're going to apply for some scholarship so that you get some part relief on your expenses? Again, I have a separate video that you can check out with the link above, which has all the costs that you need to remember if you are planning to study abroad, the true and total cost of studying abroad. Another thing post-application you need to be thinking about is your accommodation. Where are you going to live? What kind of accommodation do you want to have? You know, sorting all of this out before you actually go to that unknown foreign country is very important, my friends. I actually ended up losing some amount of money because my accommodation was not sorted before I left. So please, my friends, be super organized about these 3 steps of this whole application process. Start with your why. What universities do you want to be studying at? Which countries do you want to be studying at? What is your long-term career goal? And then come on to the application process, which has all those components that you need to be working towards and also be building something unique on your profile. And then comes your third bit, which is the post-application. Once you've submitted your application, what are the things you need to keep in mind? You need to be prepping for the interviews. You need to be sorting out your costs, your finances, maybe applying for scholarships. You also need to be prepping for your visa, your accommodation. All these factors also have to be kept in mind, my friends. This whole process can be very overwhelming, but if you are organized about it, it can be achieved. Don't make the mistakes I made, my friends, that is starting too late. Start early, start prepping now, start with your why. But until then, keep hustling hard, dreaming big, and working hard towards them. I hope to see you soon. Bye.